Hello, my name is Jocelyn Contreras.
My name is Ryan Paredes.
And I'm Tori Wang.
Today we'll be presenting our community experience project that we combined into a service project that entails food insecurity. A list of our overview will be an overview of the community partner, going over food insecurity and the project descriptions and personal reflections.
So what is Four Saints Food Pantry? It is the organization that we all worked under, but in 2017, they had opened the doors in East Fort Worth, Texas, and is a nonprofit organization that seeks to serve with dignity and humility to help those seeking nutritional needs. They partner with different organizations such as UTA, but also other Episcopal churches and other local grocers such as Kroger.
Four Saints Food Pantry have gone to 2 location moves just to address the food desert happened in Fort Worth area. We can see on the map the great spot is the location without any grocery store in a mile, and the presence of food pantry can help the people in that area to address the food problem.
Food insecurity is a prevalent health issue that continues to affect individuals across the nation and in developing countries. As a result, it can impact an individual's healthy lifestyles and the social determinants of health. A target audience that is very high risk would be vulnerable populations. With that, it entails individuals who are facing homelessness, financial instability, individuals who are a part of a racial and ethnic minority groups, as well as individuals that are elderly and facing disabilities.
So this is where we begin our intern reflections. Although we did serve at the same site for Saints, we did have different projects that we all worked on independently. So first of all, my project was to create some of the deliverables to improve the quality of life at the food pantry. Some of the deliverables were just to kind of notify people of the events that are happening throughout the month, such as our mobile food pantry that happens once a month on the fourth Saturday of each month, as well as our weekly food pantry events that we have every Friday. So these are for those people who are not able to access that information through our weekly newsletter, through emails, but more of a handout and flyers that we do pass out throughout the entire thing for people who do not have technology. But some of the skills that I have developed is learning how to communicate with that population, learning how to be flexible, and learning how to work in a team. Because there are so many roles that I had participated in and that we have participated in at the Four Saints Pantry, such as bringing food to people's cars, learning how to shop with them for the nutritional and different variety of foods, and then also learning how to register those people and then hand them out the different choices of foods that we do have. So learning to be flexible and adaptable to those many roles really helped me in also communicating those issues. By using my conversational Spanish, I was able to communicate with a majority-based population who may not speak English as their first language, trying to communicate those issues with them and trying to learn more a little bit about their lives. But also, we have to understand that we are public health students, and maybe they do not know the terminology that we talk about, but try to talk more in general terms to where we can relate to it. Some of the challenges I did face was once again the language barrier. Even though I do have conversational Spanish, there are many other people who speak fluent Spanish, such as Jocelyn, who really do help with translating in the food pantry. They're able to help more with disputes or maybe find some of the needs that they do have, and then negotiating some of the new challenges, such as learning how to speak with general terminology, but also learning how to develop my projects. Some of the takeaways is that partnerships and networking are really important, and that knowing your community is really important. One thing I like to leverage is that knowing your network and creating that network is really important, as Penny has described, as she has networked with different grocers, with different partnerships, and different communities to help get volunteers on a weekly rotation, as well as returning volunteers and establish a community.
Hi. Some of my takeaways. My main project was just take interviews and photos with clients and our lovely volunteers who are willing to give us any feedback about Four Saints, how we did. And develop skills. I did a lot of video editing during the time, and that's the video I have added it for our food pantry, and that's all the interview and the pictures I have taken. And during this, a lot, like, I definitely improved a lot of my Spanish. As y'all can know, I speak enough Spanish, but from there, now I know communication Spanish. And also, since there's a lot of language barriers, so I learned active communication really quick. At the point people would not understand the long, full sentences, I need to make it short and quick so people will understand what I mean. And also, I did a lot of data analyze with my interviews and all the pictures. Some challenges, language barrier, the first one, because not Spanish. And a majority of our clients, they speak fluent Spanish and like barely English. So some of the time we are in the food pantry mode instead of the food bank. So we actually gave clients choices for their protein or nutritions. A lot of time they are not able to understand what I'm pointing at, or they are not understanding like all the nutrition labels. So they will just rather to pick something they're more familiar with rather than what's more healthier. So that's one of the biggest challenge I have seen. And the second one is environmental barriers. I usually working at the protein station, so I pass out the protein to clients, and each client can pick their proteins. A lot of them will give up a 2 pound of chicken or fish to choose a sandwich meat. For me, it's like lower quantity and quality. I was confused why. After I getting to know them, they tell me they don't have any access to refrigerator, to cooking area, so that's why they pick the things like they can eat like right away rather than cooking. Also, transportation inconvenience is a large problem in that area. 60% of our clients are relied on public transportations to get there, which means it will be really hard for them to carry the 40 pounds of food we gave them to back home safely and in the shorter time to keep all the ice food frozen. Also, another thing I have seen is multiple partnerships. In February, we had some accounting issue with Tori County Food Bank, and during that 1.5 week, we are not able to get any food deliveries and any like orders. So we have used all our inventory to fit that time, and that just start let me know like we need more relationships and partnerships with other grocery stores just in case something happened. We have backup plans. Some of my takeaways, this is actually the first working experiences I had in all my life, and I have know like a lot of the public health word I have learned in my class is really could apply to all my workspace. People will understand them, and we frequently use those like fancy words to communicate. And lastly, network relationships. The relationships between volunteers, clients for their returns, also partnerships with grocery store and the local farms are very important to us.
So my internship role at Four Saints was to help navigate language barriers as a communicator and translator. With that, I focused on re-editing a Spanish vocabulary food guide that Dr. Erin Carlson provided to the pantry to create smaller phrases to hand out to the volunteers so that they can have a easier form of communication while keep having that genuine interaction with them. Another focus of mine was to improve the time with registration. I took over most of registration just because I am a bilingual speaker and I was able to communicate with non-English speakers. With that, I was able to develop my critical thinking skills, my active listening and communication skills as I was helping to translate for individuals that were able to speak in English, as well as improving my community service. I was able to welcome and create a welcoming environment for returning and new clientele that we would get on our Friday food dispense and our mobile pantry days as well. Some of the challenges that I faced was creating an effective plan to decrease the time wait for the clients, because we had to take into account that most Fridays we would get clients that would line up from 6 a.m. to 10:15 a.m., that is the time that our doors open. So taking into account and being mindful of the lives that they have to get back to, whether that's picking up their students, their children, or going back to work. Another one would be American Sign Language limitations. I did receive a client that their form of communication was sign language. Luckily, Tori was able to help me manage this situation and translate for me. But one thing that I did while she took over translating for me was to be observant, and as well as making sure that the client making sure that the client was feeling like I was actively listening and trying to understand what they were trying to portray to me. Some of my takeaways was to learn the importance of understanding the community that you are serving. With that, it is important as a public health profession to understand, to make sure that the client and the community feel seen, heard, and most importantly, understood. Another thing is increasing the importance of the language barriers, because in this case, Four Saints was very limited on bilingual speakers. Luckily, I was able to translate for them and reduce the challenges that they were facing with that. Another one would be genuine intent. With that, having a genuine intent can create a very genuine interactions, making clients feel comfortable and building that trustworthy with us to find us as a reliable resource.
And then this is Jocelyn's syllables. But basically, to end off, this is Miss Penny Phoenix. She is our day-to-day director who does head the Four Saints and Friends pantry, basically doing day-to-day work. So we want to thank her and our executive director, Miss Ashley Blaine. But to conclude, we all have different experiences, although we had worked under the same pantry. So one of the reasons that we want to take this experience, or you should take this experience, is that there are many things that you can improve on, such as your skills, but also develop a network and partnerships with maybe local communities to where you are able to, further develop your skills and your goals. And thank you very much.
Yeah.